Cars used to come with features so clever, so bizarre, or so dangerous that regulators had to step in and kill them. This countdown covers 10 beloved features that vanished, some killed by safety laws, others erased by technology, a few too impractical to survive. Ranked 10 to 1, the most surprising disappearance is saved for last. It starts with a tiny triangle of glass that kept millions cool. In the 10th place, vent windows offered a simple fix for stuffy cabins long before digital climate control. These small triangular panes, common from the 1940s through the 1980s, could be swung open to pull in a cool breeze without rolling down the main window. Drivers loved the instant AIR flow on hot days and the ability to direct fresh air right where it was needed. But vent windows had a downside. Thieves found them easy to pry open, and as car thefts climbed in the 1970s, that vulnerability became a real concern. By the early 1990s, nearly every new car came with factory air conditioning and tightly sealed cabins, making vent windows obsolete. The shift to secure climate-controlled interiors meant these quirky little triangles faded away, remembered now as a charming solution from a hands-on era. Number 9, the floor-mounted dimmer switch gave drivers a satisfying bit of footwork. For decades, turning headlights from high to low beam meant a quick tap of the left foot on a sturdy button tucked into the carpet. Owner's manuals from the 1950s through the 1980s even showed the proper way to press it while keeping both hands on the wheel. Drivers loved the convenience, especially at night, but human factors research in the 1970s found that juggling the clutch and dimmer with the same foot led to awkward moments, sometimes at the worst possible time. Ergonomics experts pushed for a move to the steering column, and by the early 1980s, most new cars had migrated all lighting controls to the turn signal stock. The floor switch faded away, remembered fondly by anyone who ever stomped for high beams and missed. Chrome bumpers once gleamed on every street, signaling status and adding a heavy dose of style to cars from the 1950s through the 1970s. Underneath that shine was a thick slab of steel, with each bumper adding around 12 pounds to the car's weight. Drivers loved the look, but the extra mass and the way those bumpers stuck out meant higher fuel consumption and a small but measurable increase in aerodynamic drag, about 0.015 added to the drag coefficient. The real turning point came in the 1970s, when new United States safety rules required bumpers to absorb low-speed impacts without damaging the car. Chrome over steel could not flex or deform the way modern, plastic-covered bumpers could, so manufacturers switched to lighter, energy-absorbing designs. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration regulations forced the move, and by the 1980s, chrome bumpers had faded from new cars, replaced by plastic covers painted to match the body. The shift marked a new era, less flash, but safer, lighter, and more aerodynamic cars. Number 7, swivel seats brought a touch of showmanship and real-world convenience to the car world in the late 1950s. Chrysler's 1957 Imperial rolled out with a front seat that could pivot toward the door, letting drivers and passengers step in or out with a simple twist, and no more awkward scooting or tight skirt mishaps. Advertisements promised dignified arrivals for everyone from the elderly to those in formal wear. But beneath the glamour, the clever swivel mechanism had a flaw. It created a weak point in the seat's anchorage, especially during a side impact. A 1976 safety study by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration flagged that the rotating base made it harder to anchor seatbelts securely to the floor. As safety standards tightened, automakers quietly dropped the option. With fewer than 5% of buyers ever choosing it, swivel seats faded out, a victim of the growing push for stronger, safer interiors, even if they made getting in and out feel a little less like a grand entrance. Number 6, T-tops brought a sense of freedom to the muscle car era, offering drivers a taste of open-air driving without going full convertible. With their signature removable glass roof panels, T-tops became a defining feature on classics like the Chevrolet Camaro, Pontiac Firebird, and Nissan 300ZX throughout the 1970s and the 1980s. Brochures promised the thrill of the wind above and the security of a coupe, but the reality often meant rattles, wind noise, and the dreaded drip of water finding its way past aging seals. Owner clubs swapped leak-fix tips, yet complaints piled up as panels warped and latches wore out. More troubling, cutting out large sections of the roof weakened chassis stiffness, making these cars flex more in corners and during hard stops. As safety standards tightened and car bodies grew more rigid, the compromises of T-tops became too much to ignore. By the mid-1990s, automakers quietly retired the option, leaving behind a legacy of sun-soaked memories and a cautionary tale about style over structure. Number 5. Hood ornaments once turned every drive into a rolling display of style and identity. From the Mercedes-Benz Star to the Jaguar Leaper and Cadillac's Winged Goddess, these sculpted icons made the front of a car instantly recognizable. Automakers poured chrome and brass into these mascots, advertising prestige and craftsmanship in period brochures and magazine spreads. But as early as the 1960s, concerns about pedestrian safety crept in. Some manufacturers tried spring-loaded mounts or retractable designs. These were ingenious attempts to let the ornament fold away during a collision. Still, theft was a constant headache, with parked cars often losing their prized emblems to souvenir hunters. By the late 1980s, the trend shifted toward flush badges and subtle branding, as safety standards and insurance rates made protruding ornaments harder to justify. The era of the hood mascot ended not in a single moment, but in a slow retreat, leaving behind memories of a time when a car's face was as expressive as its engine. Number 4. The manual choke cable once gave drivers a direct hand in waking up a cold engine. Pulling the dashboard knob enriched the fuel mixture, making frosty morning starts possible. Getting it wrong could flood the engine, leaving you stranded with a sputtering car and a whiff of gasoline. For decades, every owner's manual included careful instructions and warnings, but the ritual was part of learning to drive. By the mid-1980s, that little knob had all but vanished. Electronic fuel injection changed the game, using sensors and computers to handle cold starts automatically. With no risk of over-choking or raw fuel pouring into the cylinders, stricter emissions regulations in the United States and Europe demanded this precision, and Bosch's L-Jetronic electronic fuel injection system led the way. The manual choke faded out, replaced by invisible electronics that made starting a car as simple as turning the key. No more guesswork, no more flooded engines, and no more dashboard pull knob. Coming to the top 3, front bench seats once turned every family sedan into a rolling living room. With a single cushion stretching door to door, 3 adults could ride up front, and 6 passengers total was an everyday claim in American brochures. The bench seat was a symbol of togetherness, and the flat design made sliding across the cabin effortless, perfect for date nights or squeezing in that one extra friend. But as the 1990s approached, the bench seat ran into trouble. Modern airbags needed precise placement in front of the driver and passenger, which a full-width seat simply could not guarantee. Safety rules demanded solid anchor points for 3-point belts, and the bench's flexible frame could not deliver. Meanwhile, the rise of center consoles, packed with cup holders, shifters, and infotainment screens, made the old 3-across layout impractical. By the late 1990s, almost every new car had switched to bucket seats and a fixed console, trading capacity for safety, technology, and a new kind of comfort. The bench seat faded out, a victim of changing standards and the march of progress. But for many, it still represents a lost era of road trip camaraderie. Number 2. Genuine wood trim once defined the height of automotive luxury, turning dashboards and door panels into showcases of craftsmanship. In classic Jaguars and Rolls-Royces, book-matched walnut or mahogany veneers were carefully selected and aligned so the wood grain formed perfect mirrored patterns across the cabin. Each piece was hand-finished, sanded, and lacquered by skilled artisans, a process that could take days and could cost thousands to restore. before, decades later, as collectors and Hemmings listings still reveal. But wood's beauty came with a price. Natural veneers warp in humidity, crack in dry climates, and fade under sunlight. Owners of vintage Bentleys know the heartbreak of spiderweb cracks and lifting edges, and restoration often means sourcing rare timber or even salvaging panels from donor cars. As mass production and global sales demanded more consistent quality, automakers shifted to plastic veneers and high-pressure laminates. These synthetic trims mimic the look of wood, but resist warping, cost less, and meet modern flame retardancy standards. The tactile warmth and subtle aroma of real timber are now reserved for the most exclusive models. While the rest of the market settles for cost-effective imitation, the loss is more than material. It is a farewell to a tradition of craftsmanship sacrificed for durability, safety, and the realities of modern manufacturing. Hood ornaments once crowned the front of luxury cars, turning every drive into a display of craftsmanship and brand identity. But by the 1990s, their fate was sealed by a surge of safety research. European crash data revealed that rigid mascots dramatically increased the risk of severe head injury in pedestrian accidents. Between 1990 and 1997, more than 4,000 EU pedestrian head injuries were linked to hard ornaments, with studies projecting a 15% drop in trauma if these features were removed or redesigned. Regulators responded with urgency. In 1999, UN ECE rules limited hood ornament projection to 20 millimeters and required that any ornament collapse or sit flush with the hood. The European Union made compliance mandatory for all new vehicles. Automakers adapted quickly. Mercedes engineered a spring-loaded, retractable star, while others eliminated ornaments altogether, opting for flat badges or understated branding. In the United States, the transition lagged, but by the early 2000s, even Cadillac's signature emblems had disappeared from new models. The disappearance of the hood ornament wasn't a matter of changing tastes. It was the direct result of regulation, prioritizing pedestrian safety over tradition and style. Across all 10 features, one pattern stands out. Car design didn't move on because we stopped loving these details, but because safety, technology, and expectations forced change. Nostalgia remains even when progress wins. Which classic feature do you wish would return? Let us know in the comments.